It's time to duel. Sorry, I had to. It's the wrong card game too, but who cares? What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday evening. Hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. I'm ready to get back into our card game here. Got a lot of things on my mind that I want to tackle today. There's been a bunch of stuff that I kind of thought about when it comes to how we can lay out our cards on the board in the game. And I did do a bit of work offline. Again, I focused a bit on the game logic, but I also did a bit of experimentation around UI stuff, like moving the cards around. So I'm going to present that first, and then we're going to get into some of the nitty-gritty. I want to explore some new APIs of Jetpack Compose today, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, once again, to familiarize ourselves again, this is the game that we are going to build. It's based on Triple Triad, which is the card game from the video game Final Fantasy VIII, and apparently also 14, because they revamped it for that game. And these are the cards that are played within the game. Each player has 5 in their hand, and they take turns placing them on the board. And then they have like attack values, and then they can take over each other, and then whoever has the most cards at the end of the game wins. I want to build the shape of these cards today. So these aren't just rectangles. They're not even rounded rectangles. They have this special shape where there's like this dip in the middle, in the top center and then bottom center, and then there's like this arc on the left and right there. I want to find out, because I know about the clip modifier, I want to make a clip modifier with a certain shape that will give me this particular cutout, pretty much. So that's one of the things that I want to do today. First up, though, I want to present to you the current state of my card game. So if I open Visor here and I open it, this is what it currently looks like. So compared to last time, I moved the cards around a bit. So before, the red cards were stacked on the top, and then the blues were like on the bottom. I'm going to need to figure out a bit more about where I want these cards to be. I have a couple of ideas, which I'm going to bounce off today. But basically, I wanted to check, like this dragging still works, of course, so I can drag a card around. The thing is, though, I have tried and connected the callback when I'm letting go of a card to an actual animation. So when I'm letting go of this card here, then a different card will move to a designated location that I've set up. And I did this to kind of figure out the state mechanism in Compose. And I want to do something like this to figure out how to snap a card into its field. So like when I use this card, for instance, and I drop it here, that means I want to place this card on the right center field, pretty much. And even if I put it slightly off, it should find its way directly in the center there. So that mechanism I was exploring, just giving a card a target position, and then it will move and animate to that position. So yeah, that's all it does right now. It just moves around, and then the board has like these rainbow colors because they're recomposing, and I'm using random colors to assign as the background every time. So there's a lot of stuff there to do, but that is the current state. However, I do want to start with the shape. So let me put Visor away, and let us see what can be done. So what I want to do is just for testing, I want to like disable the current UI that I have, and I just want to place one gigantic card in the middle so that I can more easily see the effects of our custom shape, because I'd like this custom shape to match what these real cards do. So I want them to have round corners, and then these dips, these arcs on the sides, and then top and bottom has this like more edged cutout. So that's the shape that I'm going for. So let's see. So I am in the game screen, and I'm not sure actually. I think I'll create a different entry point. I think I'll create a different entry point for this kind of thing, for my experimentation today. So I want to have a simple card. Does not take a view model, and instead it just renders a card, just one card component, and I'm making it really big so I can more easily see the custom outline that we're gonna build for it. So I'm just doing a plain box here, just box which fills its parent pretty much, so fill max size. And then inside, what did I call it? Card component, I think. Yes, card component. And then I'm just creating a really simple card item with which I'm gonna check these things out. So just that I have some data to throw on it. So I created this card item class. It encapsulates the data model, which is the card itself with the 4 values and a image and so on. And I encapsulated that with an owner. So at any point in time, a card that's placed on the board belongs to one player or the other. And these are all data classes, so I can easily copy them, right? So taking over a card means you copy the object and you assign it the different owner. That's all that needs to be done there. So that's kind of nice. So I'm just giving it a random offset here. Doesn't really matter which one it is. And then I'm just gonna give it a player here. I think I have something hard-coded for now. Yeah. Okay, I want to give it the name P1 just until we have actual data to connect to it. That's just gonna be the player. Then I'm gonna create a card, import the player ID. I think I have a card helper function to get started with. Random card, there you go. Okay, and then the state of this card is gonna be card state in hand. So that's also something that I created off screen, which is a pretty simple sealed class which represents the 2 states that a card can be in. A card is either played or it hasn't been played yet, which means it's still in the player's hand. And through these sealed classes, I'm hoping to dictate the behavior. For instance, a card that's in hand, you can drag it around if it's yours. A card that has been placed cannot be dragged around anymore. So this kind of behavior change, I want to drive through this sealed class. But it doesn't matter, it's just an in-hand class right now. So I don't need any callback for the onDrag stop for my test. That's the card item. Do I need anything more? Okay, I gotta give it the params here. And that should be good. Let me give it a modifier. I want to make it really big so we can see the outline. So modifier is just gonna be, I don't know, width. Oh, I'm not sure actually if I give it a hard-coded width in the card component. I gotta check that. So I want to make it like 400 dips just so that I can really see it really well. Yeah, it does have a hard-coded width. That's a bit annoying. So let me just give it a default dip, and you can control it manually if you like. Aspect ratio remains the same, of course, but now I parameterized it, so it's easier to change from up here. So in this instance, it's just going to be 400 dips. Right, let's connect our activity to that main activity. Yeah, we're not rendering a game screen here. We are rendering a, what did I call it? Simple card. I think it was. Right, no need for a view model. Let's just render this card. I might need to give it a gravity, so I want to center it on the screen. But I'm not gonna cancel the build lest I accidentally create a 13-minute build again. I don't want to repeat that mistake from a couple streams ago. What was it again? Yeah, align. An alignment center should do the trick. Okay. Let's see. Oh, what's wrong here? Oh, I don't have dip imported. Okay, now I do. Alright, let's try one more time. And again, first build is gonna be the slowest. So let me put up the suffer window so we can all endure it together. Okay, here's the compilation error. So hopefully now if I press play with dip imported, it should be okay. All right, DAX Builder, here we go, packaging. Hooray. Okay, it's not as bad as the travel app. Okay, so here's my gigantic card. It is too big actually, so this will kind of defeat the purpose. I want to make it a bit smaller, so let's just say like 320 dips maybe, should be enough. And then hopefully I can see the edges nicely though. Yeah, this should be good. Wonder if I should make the text size a percentage of the whole layout. Then again, the card is never gonna be this. Oh, I shouldn't say that. A card is probably gonna be this big in the eventual app that's coming out of this. If there's like a detail screen or something, you can click the card, you can see it full screen, something like that. In that case, this text is way too small, but I want to start with the shape first. I don't want to do anything until I have touched the shape. Okay, this is still weirdly off center. Might be, hold on, that might be the scale. No, it's not the scale. Yeah, so this is 1F, this is 100%. This is 120%. When you drag it, the scale animates up between 1.0 and 1.2. Yeah, no idea. No idea why this is so... Oh, yeah, of course. My hand position. It's a card that's in hand, so it gets this fixed value. Yeah, well, that kind of thing needs to... be updated anyway. I was trying out different scenarios how I can dictate where a card is gonna be depending on what index it is and what state it has. But oh, no comma. Dang it. But do not cancel the build now. If you cancel the build now, the demon dies and we're sitting here for 10 minutes. Waiting for it to start back up again. Okay, so now with the offset being 0, it should be nicely centered and we can get started on the shape. And actually, I think I have a resource somewhere. Telling me how to work with the shape API. Just 1 second here. Can I get rid of this? Can I get rid of these? Trying to minimize the strain on my machine by closing unneeded windows. Okay. Right, so Jetpack Compose Shape API. I think I have a thing that's uncommon, like commented out below. All right, yeah, that looks good. Okay, with this I can work. Right, so we need much more rounded corners, maybe a percentage even of the total width. And then the dips in the top and bottom, and then on the left side we have these arcs. Cool. Let me actually try and I did this for the travel app as well. Let's see if I can do that, the same thing here. Because while chat is not busy, I might as well utilize the space. Okay, yeah, let's use this card as a reference. Have that in view. Okay. Right, so let's start with the rounded corners. Should be fairly simple. But then again, we are doing our own shape. So what we have is here, where we draw, where we draw the box that makes up the card. We do all these things to its scale and elevation, and then we clip it. And this clip is what gives it, what's giving it its shape. And these theme shapes here, yeah, they come with material theme, and they are a corner-based shape. So maybe that's something that we can leverage. But what I want to have here is, I don't want to have a like medium clip. I want to have a card shape. And I think I have that down here. Yes. So I have prepared a variable already, which has, which is the card shape. And right now I have it set to generic shape. However, I want to see what the corner-based shape is actually doing. Maybe I can inherit from that or something. Okay, it is an abstract class. It's a base class for shapes defined by 4 corner sizes. Which is nice, but it's not entirely all that I need. Okay, let's see. So you give it 4 values, and then it just figures something out, and then it does create outline, giving you the edges, I suppose. Okay, how's that different from the generic shape? Okay, generic shape also has an outline method, returns an outline as well, but you get a path. Okay. Okay, so you get a path, but I could do that myself, to be honest. But what does this do then? And how's this applied? Rounded corner shape. What does it do? Yes, outline rounded. So it converts everything to a radius. It's an inline function with 2 values. Okay. From a float, you get a radius. Interesting. Okay. Is radius public? Well, looks like it. Okay. Rounded corner shape. And then what does outline rounded do? Add RoundRect. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do that though. Because I need to add the corners 1 by 1, I think. Okay. I think we're sticking to generic shape. But the toRadius function is interesting. I'm gonna keep that in mind. I wonder if that's pixels or not. Isn't there an overload for a rounded corner where it says like percentage? Yeah, here you go. Okay, creates rounded corner shape with the same size applied to all 4 corners. Size and percent to apply. So you create it with a corner size percent. Percent corner size. Okay, that looks That looks good. That looks interesting. I think that's what we can use. And then I gotta check out how this is actually used. Corner, 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 corner. Okay, so the corner-based shape is what converts it to pixels, and then it gives it to us. All right, in that case, I'm gonna do actually a corner-based shape. I'm still drawing the path myself, I think. Right, yeah, I'm drawing the path myself, but I get the top left, top right, I get these kind of rounded values already, which should be good. Okay. Right, so all I get here. So what's the lambda I'm filling out here? I wonder. Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Wonder why my CPU is chugging so hard. It's not much more strain on it than usual. Okay, these are all final. Okay, I'm over it. Using generic shape, and I'll use the knowledge that I have gained from looking at like corner-based shape. I'm using that to make my decision here. All right. So I get the size. This is the top corner, like top left corner, and then if I move to size.width, size.height, that would mean that's the bottom right corner. So what I need to do is kind of want to make this a class actually. I want to have card shape be a class, and you can give it some values. So you give it corner radius, I guess, or corner, yeah, corner radius. Float. Well, it gets corner size here, so I might as well use that. Okay. I'll leave it at that for now. And this is going to be a generic shape. And I think that's an abstract class, or is it an interface? It isn't. Oh, it's neither. Well, in that case, I need to extend shape directly, because I do want the override of the method. I'm just going to create the path object myself, whatever, it's fine. Okay, let's implement this. Should be just one method. Yes, it is. Okay, let me comment this out. Okay, so in here I'm going to copy what's in generic shape. So we do need a path here, and we will eventually close it, and whatever's inside will draw the card shape. And then we return an outline generic with this path. I'll import everything, and we should be good to go. Right. Cool. So from corner-based shape, I'm going to get the idea of how to do this corner rounding from a corner size value. So I'm just gonna copy this here, and I'm gonna do, I don't need the it's gonna be the same for all 4 corners, so I just need one value here. Radius pixels is gonna be corner radius to px. That's the one. Okay. Oh yeah, this can be private now. Okay, density, wind dimension, yes. Okay. So the base class has something where it says it should be greater than 0, but I feel like you can make it 0. No, it can be 0, but it can't be negative. I guess I should check for that. So it has to be 0 or more, otherwise corner size in pixels can't be negative. I'm just gonna give it the value that offended this rule. Okay, right, so how does this calculation work? So I have a piece of paper here next to me. So this is size. It's the entire thing. Size height, size width. And then what I'm gonna do is, so path, I think this is a compose type. I'm wondering if it matches the old path class, but it looks like it. So it has like arc2, it has move to, line to, force move to. The rect parameter is a bit weird to me. In either case, the arc segment consists of the arc that follows the edge of the oval bounded by the given rectangle from start angle degrees around the oval up to start angle plus sweep angle degrees around the oval, with 0 degrees being the point on the right hand side of the oval. Oh god, okay. I wonder if I can get away with add RoundRect here. Left top, right bottom. Radius X, radius Y. Well, let's try it. I'm just gonna try it. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Maybe we can add the round corners first, and then we just move the path back a bit, and then we add the cuts. I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Right. So 0, 0. Right side is gonna be size.width. Bottom is going to be size.height. Radius X and Y are defined with this variable here. So this should be okay. Now if I give it a card shape, we say corner radius is going to be, let's do something really extreme. Let's do 32 dip. And actually let's see if we, oh. There's some convenience method where you could give it in dips. Hold on, let me see how the real thing is doing it. Oh, it's just wrapping. Okay. In that case. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna give it in dip. And then here, I will wrap it in corner size and then convert it to px. Actually, hold on. Do I need that? I can convert a dip to pix. No? But maybe not. Okay, I am gonna wrap it. Whatever. Corner size. Focus. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay. 32 dip. Let's see. If all goes well, I've just re-implemented the basic rounded corner shape. And then from there we can continue with an experiment if we can alter the path afterwards. Okay, here is what it looks like. So that looks like 32 dips of rounded corners to me. Great. And I even think, at least at this size, that's already okay. So I wonder, how is it doing the... I'm looking up how it's doing the percentage-based corner size. It's just because it's an int, I guess, which is interesting. I want to see corner percentage. Just making that an int, and then of course, like, we need an int range for that. And it goes from 0 to 100. Come on, give me the annotation. Thank you. Okay, then we're gonna invoke a different version of corner size, which is the int-based version. And that should give us... let's just say, I don't know, 10%. What's wrong? Oh, I think these are doubles. They're not. Oh, they're actually long. Okay. Can I give them an as int? Probably not. Okay. Is this now the percentage-based one? Certainly is. Okay. Come on, what's wrong? Yeah, okay. Right, let's do that again. Just want to say, see what 10%. 10% is probably way too much, but let's see. And then after, I'm just gonna make a radical cut in this path, and I want to see if it's reflected and still the round corners remain. Because if that works, then we can use that as a basis. Alright, while we compile, I'm switching to the probably very choppy face cam. Closing some more software that's running in the background in the hopes that it will make it a bit easier on my CPU. Yeah, I can't really close much more of this though. Okay, so we're back. Okay, this is okay. Oh, here's the thing that's weird. The shadow. Oh, the shadow does not look good. So I guess the shadow still expects a rectangular outline, which is gonna be a problem. If I clip this before I draw the shadow, let's see what happens then. I'm not sure, maybe draw shadow just assumes a rectangle. Oh wait, the physical object has a shape specified by shape. Okay, and by default it's a rectangle shape. Well, in that case, I'll just give it the same shape then. Card shape equals a card shape object with corner percentage equals 10. And then this object I'm using to clip. Let's see what the clip looks like. And yeah, that's what I thought. It clips away the, and it makes sense. It clips away the shadow completely. That makes sense. So I'm giving it here the object, and I'll just do the same here. And then let's see if the shadow will be drawn correctly. All right. Yeah, that looks way better. Sweet. And now we can also see like the top corners are now fine. It's using the same shape now. Really nice. Cool, I love it. Perfect. Right, let's get rid of visor. Let's get rid of this tab here. And let's do something really radical. I just want to cut this card in two. I want to see if that works. So what I'm going to do after this verification here, we add a round rectangle. Then I'm going to say to the path, move back to the start because I have no idea where it is after the round rect. And then let's do a line to the bottom right corner. And then let's do a line to the bottom left corner, which is at coordinates 0 in the x direction and then all the way down. And then that's it. So what I'm expecting, if this works in the best way possible, we have a card that's cut in half, so like a triangle shape pretty much, but the triangle has rounded corners. So like all the three, like all corners except for the top right one should have rounded corners still. I'm crossing my fingers that that's how it's working, because if it's not, then we have to do the math for the rounded rectangles ourselves. Let's see. Here it is. Interesting. Okay, so the path cut away the bottom half. I would have expected it cut off that it would cut off the top part. So I guess everything that's inside the path is. Oh wow. Okay, this is a bit. This was a bit choppy just now, but now it's fine. Okay. Right. Okay, let's try and do actually one of the corners that we're gonna use in the final card. So I'm gonna do top crease, I guess. Let's do path move to, and we're moving to the center in x direction. So size width divided by 2. And we're moving to the very top. And then actually we need some more, like we need to define how big the crease is going to be. So we need to give it some some sort of indicator. Crease percentage? Maybe I can just give it as dip. I think I'm going to give it as dip. Crease size. And that's going to be a dip value. And what I'm going to do is right up here where I define the values, I'm going to do crease pixels is going to be crease size 2px. Because that works. No, I got to do width density and then it should work. Using the density of the phone, I can then use 2px. I think that should work. And I think that's the canonical way of doing this. So in here, I'm gonna do the top crease. So we move to the center, and then we move it a bit further to accommodate the creases size. And then we are going to move it to, or like line 2 rather, size.width. And then the top part is going to be crease pixels. So we're moving it down now. And then we are moving it. Oh, hold on. This is going to be width half. I'm going to define convenience variables just to cut down on processing. It's going to be width half, width half, width half, plus crease px, and then the 0. Right, yes, I'm not sure where I need to like close this or open it again. We'll see. We're just gonna experiment around and figure out what it's doing. Crease size is gonna be 16 dip. Again, probably too much considering the final look of this card, but let's see what it looks like. Okay, play. Okay, so that didn't work. Okay. Well, we have stuff like reset and close. I'm not sure if that's something that needs to be done. I don't know what add RoundRect leaves, like what's the end result of add RoundRect? In what state does it leave the path? I have no idea. Let's see, we should be able to look in the doc, or like in the source code for Android path. Okay, it just delegates to the actual, like the old style Android path object. Okay. All right. Okay. So now if we reset it, then we only have the crease. So what we need to do is basically do the inverse of that. Okay. I'm not sure. Maybe I just want to do the entire shape myself without using RoundRect. Maybe I'm just gonna do the entire thing manually. I wanna see what this does, not using the RoundRect. So I'm gonna make it move to 0, 0, F. I'm gonna line it to the start of the crease. Then I'm gonna have it dip down and back up again. Then I'm moving it all the way to the end. And then just, I don't care about the rest right now. So I'm just gonna move it down to the right. Then I'm gonna move it down to the left. And then I'm gonna have it close to move back up. So this should be a rectangle without any rounded corners, but it should have the dip. No? I think it should have the dip. I'm guessing the RoundRect will kind of invert the path in a way where, kind of like if you do like vector and like you use the path tool in Photoshop, where if you like cross over a shape multiple times, then it will like invert whatever you had before. It's not a good explanation of how it works, but kind of like visually that's what it looks like. Okay, let's see. So it should be rectangle, no round corners, and a dip. Okay, that is exactly what's happening. Okay. Okay, maybe I do the creases first and the RoundRect at the very end. Maybe that'll work. Let's see what happens if I do that. So I close the path and then I add the RoundRect at the very end. Let's see. Because I don't remember what Android path does when you call a method like add rounded rect. No idea. Let's see what happens. Okay, it does look like the rounded rect is just like, it's like inverted or something. How do I make it not invert? Just like, because the thing is, what happens now is it draws the rectangle and then it draws again on top of what it had already drawn, and that makes the thing like invert itself. So what would need to happen is, it's weird. It should have worked. I mean, let's get rid of this block. Let me try something else. I want to go back slightly to what I had before. So I'm adding the RoundRect. I'm not resetting. Instead, I'm just moving the path. Then I'm cutting this out. And then I am closing the path. Shouldn't this now create rounded corners and there's just one edge that's like nibbled off, that's like missing on the top? Because I'm doing the RoundRect and then I'm moving again to a position where I already was, and then I cut out another triangle. That should make it invisible again, right? Because I'm drawing on top of it, like not drawing, but like I'm using the path to get into there again. Let's see. I mean, this is a good look for the cards as well. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like now. And no, okay, it's again not showing. All right, I'm scrapping using add RoundRect. I'm gonna do the corners myself. But I'm gonna do the creases first, and then I'm gonna do the corners at the very end. Right, so so these commands will do the top crease. I wanna factor that out so I can have the same code for the bottom have without actually doing, like copying and pasting the code. So this is top right corner, and then we're moving down, and if we're looking at the card reference, there's like an arc on the sides. Like, it's not a crease like on the top and bottom, but rather it's basically a circle that's put like way off, and then it just ever so slightly cuts in the into the side of the card. Hey Kurdev, how are you? Good to see you. So I'm trying the right arc, I guess is what I'm gonna call it. So I'm gonna line to, I'm gonna need another variable. So it's gonna be arc size, I suppose, or like arc radius, arc size. Let's do arc size. And I'm gonna define that in pix as well. It's going to be arc size to px. And I'm going to need height half too. So I will be moving down to height half. Oh no, actually. Actually, how does arc2 work? Okay, so rect defines the rectangle that holds the circle. All right, let's try something. I'm gonna follow the old style Android practices of defining my rects outside the draw method. Is there a compose version of rect? There's gotta be, no? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if you actually do that anymore. Let's see if I can reassign this new values. Well, I'm using the rect, and I'm going from... Oh, how are you gonna calculate that, though? That's a bit annoying. Okay, I want to do something simpler first. I want to find out if... Man, that is the longest line. Like the longest sentence I've read in the compose documentation so far. It's literally one line. This entire paragraph is one sentence. Okay, so... Alright, there we go. I mean, it does define everything that I need to know, though. Oh god. Yeah, not sure. Is there at circle? No, I guess a circle is just an arc that goes from 0 to 360 degrees. Okay, I'm trying this out. I want to see what happens if I just add an arc at this position. So I'm going to just set the bounds of the rectangle, if I can. Oh. Well, yeah, it's gonna be... I just want to have an empty rect, dude. Maybe it's not what you do anymore. Maybe you can just create rect objects as you like. I don't know. Okay, so now I have a rect, and now what can I do with it? Can I call set on it? Doesn't seem like it. Can call translate. Can control it to an Android rect. Okay. Well, maybe you just create them as you need them. Curve says a little complicated. Do you know of a better way how I can work with paths in Jetpack Compose? I'm just trying it out. I'm trying this part out for the first time today, and I'm not yet sure what the best approach would be. So I'm gonna try something. I just want to see what it would look like if I just place an arc right here. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Arc size. Not even needed right now, but... Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure. I like the shape and like the clip API. And so far it does look like it's pretty similar to what you do in like the old Android world with like canvas and doing a path. Okay, so that's what it would look like if you actually just put in the arc without any care in the world. Okay. So let's figure out what happens here. So I have made a line to the top right, and then I just add the arc. Doesn't seem to acknowledge it's just the position of the rect defines what's happening, so that's good to know. And then I do the line to the bottom right, bottom left, and then I close it. So I wonder if I just move this over. If I move this over to... Oh, I have height half. Hold on. So... And then I'm just going to just give it a random size. Oh, wait, I have arc size. Let's use arc. PX, actually. So the rect is now moved all the way to the right of the card, down 50%. That's where the center is, I think. Is that the center or is that the top left corner? Oh, hold on. Wait. No, I want the version that has where you can give a center and a radius. Wasn't there one? Yeah, offset and size. That sounds like what I want. Okay, so I gotta type it then. Okay, so I'm gonna do offset and size. Probably, yeah, I don't have to import. I need it somewhere else in this file. Okay, so this is now center. Okay, I'm actually gonna do the third overload here, the offset float one, because I need a circle anyway, so might as well use just a single float value here. Yeah, that one. Okay, so center, and so that should now mean that I'm either gonna have just half of a circle and the rest of the card is just gone, or I have the opposite, which is what I had before, which is a rectangle with a crease in the top, and I also have a perfect half circle cut out on the right edge. Let's see what happens. Okay, I have neither. That's probably because of the line 2 statements that I have below. If I were to remove these, then I'd still have the crease. It's still exactly the inverse of what I want. I wonder if add arc is just kind of scrapping, or like inverting everything that I did up until that point. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, okay, so that's what I mentioned as one of the possibilities. Oh, that's weird. That's a weird shadow. Huh. Well, I mean, if I moved this over now even further, like I don't know by how much, let's say by arc px divided by 2 or something, then the circle would have less of an impact, and we would get closer to the actual ever so slight creasing on the side of the real card. But there's just this one problem, which is it's the exact inverse of what I want. It's not a big problem. It's actually a huge problem. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like this should be the edge of this shape right here. The hard edge, the vertical edge should be the shape, but it looks like you can see the shadow of the entire circle if you just move the card out of the way, which I don't think is supposed to happen. In that case, I can't use add arc, I think. I gotta draw the arc myself. So it's gonna be a bit more math then. So I'm going to, okay, arc 2. I think I can keep this rect. I can keep using that. But this is the thing. How am I supposed to figure out what the edges, like what the angles are? I know that 0 is exactly to the right of the circle. 90 degrees is downwards. 180 degrees is left. So if I do 180 to 70, that's gonna be float. Yes. Then that should give us some sort of crease. So I do need to move down though. So I'm gonna line 2, height half, minus. All right, here's another thing. I don't know how far up I gotta go. I'm gonna give this a few more attempts, and worst case, I'm just gonna have the creases on the top and the bottom, and I'm gonna have to figure out something else. Because I do want to look into the gesture navigation still a bit more today. I want to get the board back on the screen and then try to figure out how I can like calculate the positions of the individual cards. Okay, yeah, that's not what I want. What I wanted. Okay, so it's good to know that arc and path in general is still kind of weird to use. Well, all right then. So let's do this, and then I'm just gonna do the bottom crease, and then be done with it for this attempt anyway. Right, so bottom crease is very similar to this one, which is size, height, and then here we have size, height, minus crease px. So that means we come from the right, we move all the way down, then we move plus first, then minus. Move there, move up, move down, move to the left, move back up by using close. Okay. Yeah, that should give us a rectangle, no rounded corners at all, but it has two like cutouts, center bottom and center top. All right, moment of truth. Yeah, okay. I really wish I could just add a rounded rect and then get the rounded corners back, but alas, I cannot apparently do that. Yeah, okay. Let me scale this back down. Let me scale this back down and see what it looks like with the actual cards. Curve says, do you have any images about what will you make at the end, or just working with these features? Yeah, so yeah, I guess I can show that real quick. So I'm building a version using Jetpack Compose of a game called Triple Triad, which is the card game mini game, which is part of the video game Final Fantasy VIII. It used to be the mini game that was like a game inside the game, and it's a card game like this. And actually, while I'm explaining this, let me build the other screen real quick. Okay, so you have this board, like a 3x3 grid, and you have two players with 5 cards each, and they take turns putting their cards on the board onto a field that doesn't have a card yet. And they take turns, and when the board is filled up, the person that controls more cards is the winner. And the way you control cards is each card has like four numbers assigned to them. It's a number from 1 to 10, and 10 is represented of the letter A. And so if you place a card on the board, I can show that. I have a couple unit tests I can quickly run so you can see this. But basically, if you place a card next to an opponent's card, then the facing values will kind of be compared, and then the higher number wins. And if your number is higher, then you take over the other card. And then, of course, your opponent can then take the card back, and then it goes back and forth pretty much. And so I have, in terms of like game logic, I've done a couple things. So maybe I can illustrate it with this example. So like if this card here at the top is placed first, this symbol here is supposed to mean that this is player 2's card. And let's assume now that player 1 places this card after. So this is the next turn. So this card belongs to player 1, and that means that this 6 will fight against that 4. And obviously 6 is greater than 4, so that would mean that player 1 would take over this card, and now both of them would be theirs. And then player 2 can come along and like place a card here, because this card here in the middle is very weak on its right side, so it's probably going to be taken over pretty easily from this side. And then it goes back and forth pretty much. So that's the basic game. There's a lot more rules on top of this, but that's the very basic outline of this. Right, so what is going on here? Where am I? Oh yeah, I removed the offsets. Hold on. Where is it? Here. I do need to figure out how I can work with these different positions. Like my previous experiment app that I built was an actual app, like with buttons and like text fields and stuff. Whereas this is a game, so this is much more free form, and I want to see what Compose can do with that, because I don't really have a recycler view here. I don't have a list of items. Like I kind of have lists, right? These cards are kind of lists, but they're not like a scrollable column or whatever. I can instead just use a card and drag it around, and then if I let go, then it's supposed to move somewhere. So these cutouts are much too big on this size. So I think I'm gonna use percentage as well for these. Okay, first up I'm going to use a smaller value for the crease. So crease size is gonna be more like 4 dp probably. Okay, yeah, then I'm gonna figure out how I can position these cards based on their state. Right now my experiment is whenever I drag a card and I let go, then one of the cards is gonna move to a predefined position. And I wanted to check the animations, like the physics animation of Compose when I do that. And that works great, but they all move to the same place. And I like it so that if you, oh, it's building again. If you drag a card and you drag it to like, I don't know, here. So you want to put this card in this place and you maybe put it slightly off center, then the app should still figure out, oh yeah, you were supposed to put it here. And then it will, like when you let go, it will move it to the, it will snap it to that position pretty much. So that is one of the things that I want to build next, I think, is the how to calculate where these fields are on the field. Okay, so I didn't even check the corner edge now, but I think it was better. Whoops. Yeah, that's much better. It's much more subtle. Okay, yeah, let's leave the creases for now. Cool. Right. So where did my logic for dropping items go? Here. Here's my listener invoked when dropping a card onto the board. So we get the card item that was being dragged, we get its size, and we get the position. And I think that's an absolute position. First up, I gotta figure out the position of each of the 9 fields of the board in pixels. I gotta have them know where they are on the board. And I have board coordinates already. So these are figured out already. So we know, calculate the closest distance to a board field. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this test function. Oh yeah, I'm also falling in love with Jetpack Compose. It's really cool. In the beginning, and it still very much is like that, but at first I was very humbled. Like I've been working with Android for almost 10 years now. And so when I went into Jetpack Compose for my other like experiment app, it was really humbling how long it took me to do a very basic thing. I probably could have done that with the old style much more quicker. But however, this new style, when you get used to it, I think it's very, very powerful. And yeah, I mean, I can show you the other app that I did real quick. And if you want to so like look through my journey that I went through to get there, there's a couple videos on, like I archive all these streams on YouTube as well, so you can find those over there. So this is basically a kind of a travel application. I found a design on Dribbble, and I liked that design, and I figured, okay, might as well use that to get your feet wet with Compose. So this is really just a basic, simple. It's not backed by any real data. It's all fake data. So you can like click and select filters for like places you want to go to or whatever. And then there's also a couple of places filtered by location and by place. And if you click on one, then you get a detail screen which displays like images for that particular place, and you can scroll. I didn't get around to animating this header to become smaller. I have designed the small state, but I haven't done the connection between scroll offset and the height of the header. So that's still missing. You can click this Maps button, it would work and take you to Google Maps. And here's another screen that I built, just a very simple list. So yeah, I'm really happy with Compose, and I definitely want to do more, which is why I've started this second project now. Okay, right, so we have local. I gotta familiarize myself again with what these do. So I have position. That's the card's position. I want to lock that. And then I have card size. And then I have local. And then I have board cell PX. All right, let's just print these out very primitively. I want to just see what the values are. Okay. All right, let's see. So I'm dropping this, I don't know, let's say here, which is pretty much close to 50% of my screen's height and like to the right of it. Okay, let's see what happened here. So here is the log. So it said offset is 740 by 1004, card size in pixels. Okay, I can use that. This is the local offset. I think, yeah, okay. So this is the position of this card relative to the board itself, I think. Hold on, if I let go way above the field, above the board, then this value is really low, really small. Okay. Board cell. This should be really easy to figure out from these values. Hold on. So this value is basically the relative position of the card's like drop point, or like the position of the card's drop point relative to the board, well, component. So like within the confines of this colored grid in the middle, if I drop this here, then the X value will be very small, even though like in terms of like the whole screen, this is like, I don't know, 500 pixels down, but I'm using the local coordinate system of the board itself. And I think it's easier to figure out what field I'm placing this onto if I use that. So this should be a fairly small X value, and let's actually put it here. It should be fairly small for both dimensions. Yeah, so offset was 33 and 0 pixels. So that's perfect. I think that can be useful to me. When team lead knows about Jetpack composability, then don't let us to use designers as and like SVG URLs. We must do them native. Yeah. What I also really like is the preview feature, like where you can just have in the IDE you can have previews of your different composables without even running an app, which is really cool. I haven't done it on stream because frankly it's very slow, and I can't really use it on stream because my machine is under too much pressure. But in general, it's so cool. Like you can, I've seen blog posts already about from people who have like converted their company brands UI to compose, and then they just have a long list of previews where it shows, oh, here's our button in dark theme, here's our text field on tablet devices, here's whatever this form is in landscape. And this is really easy, and I think this will help like QA as well, and it's just amazing. I'm amazed by how much of a fanboy I've become of Jetpack Compose. It's really, really cool. I love it. Okay, right, so board cell PX. We should be able to find the closest coordinates that we've dropped our card onto. We have the local position. This is card drop position. And we know how large a cell is. It's square, so width is going to be same as height. And from there, it should be really just trying to figure out the distance between the drop point and the centers of all of these 9 fields. And if any of those is smaller than whatever threshold I set, then I'm going to say, okay, the card was placed on that particular field, so please move it there. So that's what I'm going to try. Right, so let's see. The only thing that's iffy about this so far to me is that I have to do this, to run this logic inside this listener. I might factor that out into its own function. But this is just testing for now, so I'm good. So for this component, I want to know what is its size. I know it from the view model. It tells me how many fields are there. Okay, what was that again? A holder of the measured bounds. Okay, so this size is actually pixel size of the whole board, and I divide it by however many fields I have. I wonder if I need that. Well, I kind of do, I think. Okay, should be a simple division or modulo or something. So anything, like let's say the board cells are like 300 by 300. And my drop point is like, I don't know, I'm trying to go for the top center, like first row, second column for that row. So I drop it there somewhere. So my drop point would be, I don't know, like maybe 480 by 50. So I know that these cells, like the top cell goes from 0 to 300 pixels. Then the next one is going to start at 301 to 600. Actually, let's make it a bit easier just for testing. And then 600 to 900. And that's just the X values of these. And the same is true for all of the 3 rows. And then the Y value is going to be 0 to 300 here, 300 to 600 here for the second row, and then 600 to 900 here. And then it's basically repeating here. So this is again 0 to 300, first row, Y value. Second row, Y value. And then third row. I'm just going to type this out so I can have it a bit more, like it usually helps me trying to visualize things. That's why I always have a piece of paper and a pen next to me, so I can just write stuff on my paper if I want to figure something out. But I'm trying to do it on screen so that y'all can see pretty much. Okay, so these are the coordinates, and we have X, Y, X, Y, and another X, Y. Right, so my drop point 480.50 would fall on this pretty much because its X value is within 300 to 600 and its Y value is within 0 to 300. So I'm gonna figure out the distance then to the center point of this range, and I'm gonna say if it's smaller than, I don't know, 60 dp, then it's a valid move. Let's try. So how am I gonna calculate this? So let's do closest. Well, I guess I can try to, like, these things have like pixel values, but they also have like indices, right? It's like a matrix. It's a 3x3 matrix, and this thing here is row 0, column 0. This is row 0, column 1, and so on. And then it goes all the way down to like this being row 2, column 2. I think I can just plainly divide my drop point by the size, just like integer division, just throwing away the decimal points. Let me try that. Target row is going to be card drop position. Is it X? Yes. X divided by board cell PX. Oh. Width. No. Yes. Yes. And target column. No, I keep messing up and confusing row and column. So this is row. Row is going to be the Y actually. So here you go. And column is going to be Y divided by the height of a cell. So in our example, if this is 480, if this is 480, and I divide it by 300, then its result is going to be 1 point whatever. I want to make this, it's probably float now. Yeah. Okay, so let's just do an integer out of these because Kotlin is amazing. And then I will just check if that's a valid coordinate on the board. If it is, I'm going to do another check for getting the distance, like to the center point of that field. And I'm going to check that against the threshold. So let's print this out and see what happens. Drop point at the card drop position is closest to board field at row, target row, call, target column. Let's get rid of this one. I don't need that anymore. Let's run it. So Kurt, have you tried out Jetpack Compose in any project so far? Okay, so I'm moving this card over here, and I'm expecting that it should say row 0, column 2. And that actually did work. I'm not sure if the visor obscures it, but you can see it here. Row 0, column 2. If I let go here, it should be row 1, column 1. And that also works. If I let go here, it should be some coordinate that doesn't exist, but it should still say like, I don't know, row 4, column 2 or something. Yeah, row 3, column 2. So that's an invalid move, but I don't know that yet. I'll need another check to confirm that. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I want. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so check if the target position is a valid field. I wonder if I should just make the move. I have a method on my view model that says make a move with this card onto these coordinates on the field. And then I can just have the view model take over and say, yeah, that's not a valid position, sorry. How about the thing is, I do need the check. Maybe I'll just do the threshold check before. And if the threshold check passes, then I'm gonna say make a move, even though the coordinates might be wrong. Because I can extrapolate the field positions, I think. So I'm gonna say that my tolerance for dropping off card snap tolerance, I guess, is gonna be 72 dp. And then down here, I'm gonna... Okay, yeah, nice. So the distance to that target is gonna be... Well, I can calculate the center pretty easily. The center of a field is size divided by 2 in either direction, multiplied by the coordinate that I have. So it would be, okay, not target distance, let's do target center first. So the center of the field that I'm trying to put the card onto is gonna be an offset of it's gonna be target row, target column times board cell px divided by 2. Right? What's your problem? Really? Oh, that's an in-size. Okay, whoops. And then it's going to be x. And then we have for the y, we have this calculation. Target row times board cell height. What's wrong? Is this int? Yeah, okay. No, wait, it needs int? No, it needs float. Okay, well, that's easy to fix. Okay, so this is the target center, and then I should be able to anyway, pretty easily decipher the distance to the target. So this is card drop position, which is an offset. Does the magnitude of the offset? Okay, so I think I can... I wonder, like the offset class seems to have a few helper methods. So I think I can subtract offsets from one another, and I think I can do... There's get distance, so I guess there's... So if you need this value to compare to another offset's distance, consider using get distance squared instead. Okay. I think I do need the distance itself though. So let's see, target is gonna be target row, target column, center of that particular place or field is this, and distance to that is gonna be this. So let's do another take here. Let's go. Okay, so I am gonna drop this here. It says target is 1, 1. offset is 166, 166. That is not correct though. Because this thing should be 166. This should be like 466, 466. This might be an off by 1 because these columns start at 0. Or rather, yeah, I think I can fix that by adding 1 here. Because the center of the first column, the center of the first column is not at 0. It's at board cell width divided by 2. And then second one would be, yeah. I think that's better now. And that should make the distance a bit smaller as well. Okay, so trusty visor is back. My logging is on. Let's drop this again on the center here. So we get 332. 332, that's still not correct. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I know. Yeah, okay, I think I know what's happening. Alright, so for this calculation, right? So let's focus on the X value first. The leftmost field on the board, I removed the old comments. So the leftmost field has the relative X values between 0 and 300. And then the next one is gonna start at 301, 300 to 600. So the center of this one would be 166, or like 150 rather. And then this one would be 450, which is an entire size plus 1/2. So I guess this calculation is not entirely correct, because it should be we add these things entirely, like fully, and then we add with plus, we add 1/2 on top. I think that should be good. Fingers crossed. Famous last words. Okay, so this goes here, and then whoops, and then plus one more time, just 1/2 though. Now I wonder if you can just do it like 1.5 times or something. Yeah, I think that might even be better, because this is kind of this is kind of weird. I'm gonna check it first, and then I'm gonna try a different. Okay, so dropping it in the middle again. And we find out it's 498, 498. I mean, the cell size itself is not 300 pixels, so I shouldn't get too carried away that this is not the same number. Hold on. What was it again? Cell size equals board cell px. Oh, and I'll lock that too, just to be safe. Okay, and once more. Dropping it in the middle, as always. Right, so cell size is 332 pixels, meaning that half of that is 166, meaning that added, I'm just gonna make really sure that I'm calculating this right. Yeah, okay, 498, that is correct now. because that is the center, and we are still a long distance away from it for some reason, which is weird, but I'm gonna deal with that later. So I want to try simplifying this a bit. I'm gonna copy this just so that I have it stored in case I forget what it used to be. And then it is just, isn't it just this? Isn't it just that? I don't know. I usually wing these kind of math things and I just throw formulas at them. Let's see. Isn't it just this? If this value is 0 for the leftmost column, then it'll be width times 0.5, which is divide by 2. If the column is 1, it's the second field, then it should be 1 plus, so it's 1.5 times. Yeah, it should be okay. Should work. Should work, TM. All right. Oops. Accidental lockhead. I don't need lockhead. Okay. Yeah. Same result. Let me try a few more. So bottom right would be 660 plus. So it should be like, I don't know, 820 maybe. Yeah, 830. Okay. Yeah, that seems to work. And then top left would be 166. Okay, that works as well. Cool. So that works. My distance is still kind of big though. Is it though? I'm not sure. Maybe it's not, but I need to check this position here. I want to lock that again because now the target center works just fine. So I can clean this up a bit here. Center point of the theoretical field target on the board. Now calculate the distance between drop point and target. Okay. So cell size, I don't need that anymore. This I don't need anymore. Distance I do need, and I need the drop position once more. So this is card drop position, and also raw, like global position. Whoops. I forgot a P. There you go. Okay, so I'm dropping it again. So global position was 400 and 1000, which is like seems correct. Drop position, yeah, okay. This distance looks super weird though. Like if I take 376, 339, like what value is that? I'm trying to drop it so that the center point is on the very, very top left corner. So I want this to be 0, 0. It's not though. It's minus 90, minus 133. So I think this position is actually, it's not the center of the card, but it is the top left corner of the card. So I want to see what I'm feeding to this listener. So card component, my draggable box, where is it? Here it is. Okay, so on drag stop, this receives an offset. And this is coords global position. Okay, does coords have like a center point? Okay, maybe not. Well, I can calculate that though, I think. So what I'm gonna do is I'll and the global position of its center. I don't want the top left corner. I want the coordinates of the center point to be fed to my callback. And then maybe I don't even need the size. Maybe I don't need the size then. Okay, this is now center, and this is literally chords global position plus size dot 2 divided by 2. Not sure if I can add to this offset like this. Maybe not. Found in size. What's this? It's an offset. Okay. Well. Doing it like this then. And it's float. Okay, so global position of top corner plus half of its dimensions should give us the center point, and I'm feeding this to my callback now. Meaning that on my game screen, wherever it is, here, this is now the center point. And I think this will be what I want, ultimately. So now if I drop it, the distance should be kind of small, because I'm trying to drop it way close to the center. And as soon as I have that, I'm going to actually make the move through the view model if it is a valid position. But the view model is going to tell us if it is. So I'm dropping it in middle again. Let's see what it logs. Shouldn't be too big of a distance now. It's a dream. Let me put the visor away. So now the distance was 4.9, well, pixels, I guess. So if I put this down here, it should again, I'm making it really close to the center again. Hold on, putting visor back here. Okay, here. So I'm dragging this card and I'm dropping it over this field. And the log distance was 11 pixels. So if I'm a bit sloppy now and I drop it like here, it should still recognize that I was supposed to put it in the yellow field. But the distance should be a bit bigger. Now it was 76 pixels. So let's see what my threshold is in pixels. Tolerance is, what was my card snap tolerance? That is a dip value. I gotta convert that though. I gotta convert that. I can't easily convert this to pixels, so I'm gonna put this within game screen. State. Well, it's not really state. It's I don't know, like properties, I guess. And I'm gonna move this below my comment here because that's for a later date. So I'm gonna do with my density ambient. Convert that to px. All right, doesn't need to be private. Card snap tolerance. Okay, let's see how much this is. And then I'm doing a simple if here, and I'm saying if the theoretical distance is small enough, then please ask the view model to make the move at that position. Maybe view model will return true or false based on if it's valid or not, but Not sure. Maybe we can just have it fire a new state and then the composable will recompose. So I'm putting it here. Let's see, how much is this? So it's 189. That seems kind of large. Because even if I put it like way here, it shouldn't get close to that. Yeah, that was 94. Okay, I'm gonna dumb down the tolerance for this. You know what? So I'm gonna do 32 dp. I don't want to get too high with this value because otherwise people are gonna accidentally put it on a field that they didn't want to, and yeah, it's a mess at that point. Okay, cool. So this is now a very simple if the target distance is less than my snap tolerance, then I'm actually gonna ask the view model to make its move. Indent that. And I'm passing in the target row and the target column when I'm asking the view model to make the move. So in here, there's a bunch of things, a bunch of print lines that I have to get rid of. So if the player's not, it's not their turn, then we don't accept the move if the row is not in bounds. Hold on, do I have anything for that? I might be able to ask the board itself. Yeah, is in bounds is a thing that exists. Okay, cool. In that case, we'll ask the board object, hey, is this position within your legal bounds? If it's not, then not a legal move. And I'm not sure if it's debounced or not, but I think I want to I want to try something. What happens if I have a state object, like a mutable state off? Where is it? Here. A mutable state off, and I want to force a recomposition even though the value didn't change. I wonder how I can do that. I'm trying to assign it to itself. That sounds sketchy, but I'd like to try it. I want to see what happens when I do that. And then otherwise it is a legal move, and then I have to do something here, but did a move to do react to it. New cards, okay. Okay. Just a couple more seconds. There we are. All right, so I'm dropping it intentionally in the wrong spot now. You want to see what the view model does? Oh, okay, well, it I didn't log anything, but the card moved back. I'm not sure if that is because I tell it to or because the view model tells it to. Well, okay, no matter. Maybe I want to add a log when the game screen recomposes or something. Because I want to see when this happens. No, not yet, not yet. I'm gonna do something else. So I'm gonna do a legal move now. Okay, so that did prompt a lock here. Cool, cool, cool. In that case, I think I need to update the logic of the view model to, like, I have already the logic which basically does the moves and checks, is there any neighbors? Do I have to make them fight? Who wins? And it puts it all in a list, which is called the board updates. So for the new board, I go through its updates, and when a new card is placed, then I have to do something here. And when another card is taken over, I have to do another thing. So what I'm gonna do is, if a card is added, because that's the only thing that is interesting right now, is I want to get the card, new card, and I will, well, I guess remove it and, or like remove it from the current list and add it back with the state of played. So new cards is gonna be removing the new card object because that should be there. What is it? Oh, it's a card item. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, in that case, we're doing a predicate. We move first. Oh. Wait. So a board update has a board tile, and it has an ID and a card. Okay, in that case, I need to find the card to remove by but what happens if a player has the same card multiple times? I want to remove that exact card. Maybe I need to update it so that a card has a unique identifier. Even though you have multiple copies, they all have different IDs. I kind of didn't want to do that though. Well, I mean, right now they have random IDs. So I guess for the time being, I'm gonna find the card by its ID and remove it. So remove the non-played card from the list, replacing it with a new card item, with a played card item. New cards. Remove if it card's ID equals. Okay, hold on. New card is update tile card, and if that card's ID is the same. Does this return anything? Boolean. Okay, I'm gonna bind it to this conditional. If we can remove something here, then we are going to add it at the end. I'm gonna do a card item. But that thing is, dang it. I gotta keep the ID of the card. I gotta figure out a bit more how cards work versus card items, but I'm Is there no version of index of that takes a predicate? That's weird. Well, I mean, maybe I don't need to get its index. So it card ID equals new card ID. If we have a match, then we will remove the old item, or rather, can we replace? Does that work? No. Okay. We remove the card to update, and we add at the end the new card, which is just copy it and give it a different state. And it's being played on these coordinates. Yeah, it's a bit iffy, but it's all right for now. Okay. Well, I guess I do need to find the same thing here. Moving that out. So this if also. Remove the card to... Oh. Dang it. Okay, abort. So what does this have then? Oh, okay, okay, okay. In that case, it's actually different. Okay, so the card to update here, in this case, when a card is taken over, is I'm finding the card by its position. So I'm saying its state has to be played. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. This whole thing is not making me happy right now, but I'm gonna do an ugly Elvis here. Oh. Crap. Okay. So I'm gonna do played state equals this, or false, or rather return false. Yeah, and then played state row equals the update row, and played state column is the same column that caused the update to happen. So this is the card to update. If that exists, then it's the same spiel, honestly. Remove it and update its cousin, which is a card to update copy, and it just switches owners. So its new owner is the updates to player, the one that it's changed to. Yeah, ugly as sin so far, but what ifs, it's okay. And then we update the current cards to the new cards. Man, this, I'm not sure. I don't think the board positions are correct yet, but I think the app will react in some way to a valid move made by me. Let's hope. Oh my god, it actually did something. I think they still all move to the same place. Yeah, they gotta move to the real board place. But if I do this, it's an invalid move, and the cards just go away back to their original position. Same here. But if I do place them on the correct field, then it's not that guy's place. So I gotta do it from the blue card. So if I do it here, that what? Okay, that is apparently not a valid move. Weird. This one is. Okay. That's dope though. That is really cool. I like that. Okay, maybe my tolerance is too low now. Maybe that's probably a configuration thing. Let's try 60 dips. That's better. That is much better. Okay. Yeah, and as I suspected, the size is not used anymore. We don't need that. So I am gonna remove it from the listener in my draggable box altogether. It's gonna streamline it. And this I still need though. Okay. I think this can go away. And then I need to update the listeners here. And here. And somewhere around here. Oh, here. Nice. Okay. So I wonder, how do I make it? I'm wondering now, how do I make it snap to the correct positions? Because right now it will just pass the card item to the card component, and then based on the state of it, it will just either use its hand position, which is the pre-filled positions which make the cards appear in these rows, like overlapping, or if it's a played card, which is all the ones that are like moving down there when I place them somewhere, that's a fixed value. But I of course want to have it to move to the board components field index. And I think I will do this via an ambient. I think I will provide some sort of ambient which will give composables the knowledge of where is a particular field on the board in pixels. So that would be kind of like the board position ambient or something. I think that might be a good approach. I have never written an ambient though, so I'm a bit hesitant. I'm not sure how that works. But I think it's literally doing something like this, where, well, I think it's literally you say board ambient equals an ambient off, and then you provide the type that you want to provide or something. And I kind of want to have a convenience class, but for now I will just provide layout coordinates, the raw pixel things. I kind of want to have a convenience class that encapsulates this, which I can ask, give me for field 0, 0, please give me the bounds, and then we'll do it. But this is easier now. So board ambient is an ambient of layout coordinates. And then what I have to do is, in this box, I will say I'm not sure if I can use a state though. So I think it's like providers. Is it providers? Yeah. And I say board ambient provides board coordinates. I don't think this works that way. If I can spell it right first. Because that's a state. That's not actually a... Well, then again, I can't give it the value. It's a nullable value, so... Yeah. Okay, well, convenience class might come sooner than I thought. I'm just dumping everything in one file for now. There's going to be a state of layout coordinates. Can be null. And then this is board ambient provider. And then I can ask this bounds of field, or like border bounds of field. Yeah. And then row, column. And then this will return something. Let's return an offset. And it's right now will return the same static offset that I have defined down here. Okay. Right, and then here I'm going to make the board ambient provide the board ambient provider, which gets these coordinates. I think this is still a bit hacky. But I want to see if ambients actually work that way. Haven't used one so far. Alright, as soon as this indents correctly. Alright. So anywhere in here, I can now access board ambient.current and get that object here. Why can I not resolve state? That's weird. Yes, obviously that one. Thank you. Okay, let's just see. State value here is state dot value. And this is what I'm gonna need to calculate the different positions and stuff. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna use the board ambient now. Current, and then bounds of field, item, state, row, item, state, column. Okay, what's its problem? Okay. Alright, I do not know what this means. me try and break this up. Okay, I can't access this thing at all. Because it could not render the message Y. Okay, does it have to do with being inside remember here? Okay, seems like it does. Like, board ambient. So I'm wondering, can I now use this here? Because if not, that would be a problem. Okay, I seem to be able to. So I need to define it outside the remember. It's a odd choice, but I'll respect it. Okay. So let's see. I want to see that the cards still move to the same position, but that it also prints out this log here. State.value here, colon, and then whatever the layout coordinates are. I'd really like to see these cards snap to the correct position by the end of today. Oh, we'll see. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this moved to the right place, and it did do it indeed. Sweet. So now I'm wondering. Basically, I'd like the board ambient to be able to do this math as well, because this is kind of at the basis of the board ambient's new request and requirement. So I would like to... Where's this used? It's just in here, no? Yeah. Yeah, it's just in here. And of course the assignment. I'd really like to do that. Okay, in that case, let me see. Can I access board ambient now here, or is it the same error message? Same error message. So I guess you can't use it in a captured lambda or something? Could not render message. Thank you. In that case, I'll just define it right here, outside of any captured. It's a bit redundant, but it's fine. Yeah, that works. Okay. So I'm going to... What would be a good API for this? So I give it a... What do I give it here? The thing that I ultimately want is target center. Well, and board cell PX, to be honest. I'm going to copy this entire calculation into this thing up here. And then I'll do... oh, I'm already here. Okay. Let's see. What do I not have at this point? So I have to do... I have to get the board coordinates first. That's the... If not, then I'll just return offset 0, whatever. I need them. And then I don't have the view model here. That's why I have the parameter. And I do need a position. Bounds of field. So I guess we have... right, so I'm wondering. So if I want to copy the logic from the other, from the method below, like this should compile because it has everything. Okay, and that is kind of the return offset. So this would return an offset, and this would be center of board field, center of nearest field. So you give it a position, and it returns you the center point of the closest position on the board. Oh, yeah, of course. I do need that. But that is a local center. It's not a global position. And this is a global position though. So you give it some global position on screen, and it'll convert that into the local coordinates of the field which is closest to that position, which may be off center. Okay, so this should be satisfying my needs down here at least. So I should be able to get target center through that. I just access my board ambient and I just give it this and pass in the field position. Right, and then I can move this out of the composable and just in here. And then I should be able to get rid of this entire block because it's now part of the ambient. Okay, I see. Okay, so card drop position is needed below. That makes sense. Okay, all right, then let's do something else. Global to local, to board local. So I need board coordinates again, of course. And I'm gonna return this. Just really plain. And then here, this is gonna be a local position already. So I can save myself this calc pretty much. And then here, this is now more generalized. Right, and then here I need some more info. I need target row, I need target column, and I do need the offset. So I'm gonna do a quick data class here. Board offset. It's gonna have a row, gonna have a column, gonna have an offset. And this is what's returned here. And then of course, well, maybe I make this nullable or something. This shouldn't really happen, that this value is null, but I gotta make sure. Okay, and now here, it's gonna be, well, it's gonna be board offset. It's gonna be target position. Board offset, row, column, offset. Cool. Right, so that should be all the info that I need. So this needs to be a local position first. This is a global position, and I need to convert that into a local position first through the board ambient. Global to board local. And then I can use this to convert. And then board offset. And then I have if board offset is not zero, not null. Okay, and then here, this is local position. And this is these are those two. I'm not going to name this offset, I'm going to name this center. Okay, I still don't know how to... Wait, yeah, I do. It's literally this calculation here. Yeah, it's literally that calculation. Just with these values. Column and row. And then board cell px I can just calculate again. And of course I need this. There you go. And then I'm just gonna return that. That'd be amazing if that worked. I think even that I can make it so. Well, it's not the bounds of field, but I'm gonna rename it in a second. Okay, this should do something now related to the boards, but I'm not sure if it's gonna stick to the center. It might be that it sticks to the top left edge, or it might be offset. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Once I have these things snapping to the somewhat correct position, then I think I'm gonna wind down for the day. Some good progress in that area anyway, even though it doesn't look like much in terms of UI. Okay, okay, yeah, that's weirdly off. Oh, it might be that it has to be. Okay, well this kind of looks structured already though. It's just odd that this would be like that. The thing is, I'm assuming that these are board local values and I need them global on the other call site. So maybe I need to have the reverse here too. I hate how I have to check this for null every time, but it's whatever. Local to global, local position. Let's see. Maybe I'll make it clearer that this is a local center of field. And then I'm gonna do this like so. And I'm gonna do this into local. And then I'm converting it to global through board ambient again. Local, board local, where is it? Board local to global, local. Yeah, no idea. Kind of winging it right now, but we'll see. Maybe it's the coordinate system that's weird. All right, so here's what it looked before. So let's say I'm dropping it here. Oh, now it's too far to the bottom. Okay, so maybe that's not it then. But I mean, it does kind of, like, it does recognize the different fields that I'm dragging it over. Not sure what's happening with, like, if I drop it here, then it moves down here, which is off from where it should be. Okay. But I mean, it does figure out the moves correctly. So I think at least the calculation to get to the nearest field, like these, those are working. It's the inverse that's giving me a bit of trouble right now. So from the coordinates of the board, I need to figure out the center, local center of field. I mean, it works in this direction, but in the other, not. Well, yeah, I mean, this is the center, right? So it's gotta be the offset works in a way where the offset relates to the top left corner of the card and not the center. So I guess if I, hold on, let me do that again. So if I drop this here, it moves over there because the top left corner of this card is being moved to this offset. If it were the center, then it would still be a bit off. Weird. Weird, but I'm trying. Okay, so it's not as easy as just using that method. It's got to be something else. Well, I mean, I have field size. I can do that as a val, actually. Field size px is probably better. It's this calculation. And then, of course, I got to do the check again. It's not actually an offset, now that I think about it. This thing is more like an in-size. Dang it, okay. Does this have a zero constant? Yeah, seems like it. Okay. Right. So I can remove this then and replace it with field size px. I mean, might as well. And here once more. Let me just try. I'm assuming that this is now the center of the field. Let me just try and see what happens if I just subtract half of the field size. This is again very hacky, but I wanna see if this is okay. Can I convert these two? No. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's do a bunch more hacky stuff here. Yeah, that works. Dang it. Okay, this line gets even uglier, which is even more for me a reason to refactor it eventually. So that's the last try I'm gonna give using the center and then subtracting half of the size. Okay, yeah, that still doesn't work. Nope, not at all. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave it at that for today. I don't think I can get this in and correctly working today. Actually, let me try one more thing. I mean, this is surely not gonna work, but what happens if I just use the local center of the field? But yeah, I used my first ambient today, which is cool. Okay, it's back to this, but it's not horrifically wrong, which is really weird. Well, but I don't mind it right now. It's okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. So a bit of progress. Doesn't look like on the outside doesn't look like much, but I tried out the Path API for the first time, trying to build a card shape, and horrifically failed at the rounded corners. I'll do that later. And then I did do the snapping to specific fields, so that's really nice, and that works from a logic perspective. It just doesn't use the correct target positions yet, but that's something that can be figured out and fixed in a later part. That being said, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.